One of my most important tools in the kitchen is my knives. I absolutely love knives. I didn't realize when I first started cooking how important it is to have a great knife. But I am learning more and more that my knife is my best friend in the kitchen. So today we're going to take a look at 3 knives from Shan. We have a couple of chef's knives, a couple of Santoku. We're going to do a little chopping and we're going to see how these babies perform. So Christmas is coming up. We need to start thinking about what we're going to get our favorite cook in our life, and a knife is a fantastic gift. So join me as we take a look at some knives from Shan. The nice people at Shan sent me these knives, and I'm so excited to try them out because I love testing knives. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank Shan for sending me these. We're going to have a good time testing them out and using them in our kitchen, and they look fabulous already. So let's take a look at what we have here. So here are our knives. We have 3 knives from Shan. So what we have is, this one is the Elite Series. It's a chef's knife. This one here is a Pro Series Santoku. And this one here is a Pro Series chef's knife. So let's open the Santoku first. Right. So you guys remember the video that I talked about the difference between a chef's knife and a Santoku. A chef's knife tends to be made out of a little bit softer steel. They don't tend to get as sharp, but they're power horses, right? They go through bone, they go through meat, they go through all kinds of stuff. That is the style because they're made more in the German style. This is a Santoku knife. It is a harder steel, but it can get a lot sharper. And it is great for really fine cutting, salmon, making sushi, tomatoes, all kinds of vegetables. That is what the purpose of this knife. So let's take a look at this bad boy. So we're going to open up and see. This is really nice. This would be great for a gift just because it's so nicely boxed. So here's a little card where you can give them feedback. You get a free VIP membership in their discount club. And it also has a care booklet. Shows all their different kinds of knives, the specifications. Wow, this is a really nice little book. So here's our knife, and look at this bad boy. Woo! It's beautiful. Look at it. It's Damascus. It's 67 layers. It's a super steel, so it's the highest quality stainless steel pretty much that you can get. Look at this bad boy. It's beautiful. It has a, they call it a G10 handle, which is basically a laminate handle. It's full tang, and it's got a really nice cap. It's finished really beautifully. See how there's no like rough edges here? All the way across. It doesn't have a bolster, so you can sharpen it all the way back to the heel of the knife. It's beautiful. Okay, next up we're doing the Elite Series chef's knife. Beautiful, beautiful. Here's our same use and care guides. And look at this bad boy. Now, this is noticeably heavier because it is a chef's knife. There's a lot more oomph to this knife. But still the same. No bolster. You can sharpen it clear to the end. It has a nice feel to it. It has this so you can grip it, do a pinch grip on it. Same thing. Very nicely finished. That's a beautiful knife. And our other chef's knife. Wow. This is a Damascus knife too, 67 layers. Look at that, that's beautiful. That's one beautiful knife right there. Very, very nicely finished. Wow. So it feels like it's got a pretty flat bevel on it. It is V-shape. I don't feel like it's flat all the way down. It is V-shape. You know, it's definitely not a hollow edge. Really, really nice. So let's get some vegetables and a little bit of meat and try these babies out. So we're gonna do a little prep. I'm gonna make my chipotle chicken wraps. I'm gonna take them to work, so I'm gonna do a little prep for that. So the very first thing we have, a tomato. And I'm gonna cut that with our Santoku. So let's see how this bad boy does. Nice. How thin can I do it? Ooh, look at that. Thin. I don't know why I would use a tomato that thin, but I'm going to go ahead because I want to sort of dice this tomato. Wow, this is a nice knife. Look at how nice and clean. One of the things you can tell when your knife is not very sharp, when you go like this and it doesn't penetrate the skin and you're like sawing, it's dangerous because the tomato can move on you. So, yeah, this went right through it. And this is a perfect job for this. So I'm just gonna dice this up. Sweet. And it's very comfortable. It has a really nice grip on it. I really like it. Nice. Sweet. Santoku, thumbs up. So let's cut a little bit of zucchini and let's see how that Grant edge does. Sweet. I don't know, you know, Grant edge is, to me, look at that. The Grant edge really doesn't. I found that on most knives that the Grant edge, I don't know. For me, the jury is out on whether it really works that well. But look at how easy that cuts. So let me try, this is the Damascus Chef. See, it's definitely a thicker knife. It's way heftier. But that's the nature of a chef's knife. It's gonna be heftier. If it's not, there's a problem, right? So we're just gonna take the end off and we can actually just go like this, cut some planks, and we could turn this into some fried zucchini sticks. Sweet. Sweet. Damascus Chef gets my thumbs up. So here is just a regular Chef, and this is a really nice knife. It's really a good price on this knife if you don't necessarily want the Damascus finish. Wow. And we have the same performance. It's a beautiful knife. It really is. It just powers through that. Nice. Whoops! And then we will do some planks. Nice. And our zucchini sticks. We can cook these up in the air fryer. Mm-hmm. Next up, let's do some bell pepper. Bell peppers. My recipe has bell peppers and onions in the wrap, so nice, nice. Whoop! This is the Santoku. Look at that. Bam. Bam. There's no hesitation. These knives are sweet. I like them. Pepper number 3. We're having tri-colored peppers. I'll put a link in the description to this recipe. It's really, really good. Let me wash these real quick. So for this recipe, I'm just gonna cut them in strips. That's how I'm gonna put them on my wrap. This wrap is delicious, and it's so easy to do. So that was a Santoku, and it was super simple. This is the chef's knife. Same, really nice. Chef's knife is a little bit heavier than a Santoku, but that's how it is, right? Sweet. Really sharp. And last but not least, we're going to use, this is the Damascus steel. Sweet. Going to keep that, and I'm going to go for an onion. So let's see, this is the Damascus chef's knife. Nice. I can really tell on onions when a knife isn't sharp because I get a lot of resistance. And I'm not getting any resistance at all with this. That's when you know your knife is nice and sharp. And I just want to cut them in half moons. Nice. When you have a knife that's not sharp, your knife will actually slip, particularly off of onions. Nothing like that with this knife. Sweet. So let's cut up some chicken. And putting on my gloves. Yeah, I always put on gloves because I don't want the chicken in my fingernails. So we're going to start off with Santoku. We're going to be doing some sliced for my chipotle chicken wraps, and we're going to be doing some butterfied cutlets. We're going to be using those for some grilled chicken sliders. So let's take a piece of chicken. So we're going to be slicing 2 breasts and doing 2 into the cutlets. So here is our Santoku. And Santokus usually are not like bone cutting, huge meat cutting type of knives. But this actually is pretty good for this because we're just going to be doing some slicing. This is pretty easy meat to cut. Let me get this gristle out of here. And so it should work pretty good. Cut this end off. And we're going to trim it up here a little bit. And trim here. So first let's start out and do some slices with the Santoku. So we're just going to slice this way. Nice. Usually when the knife is dull, you actually can almost feel it ripping in there, almost like you can feel the grain of the meat or something. But when the knife is super sharp, it just glides. You don't even feel any of that. Nice. And this Santoku is great for this. One of the things I can say is this is, you know, when you're talking about Santoku, there's some that are like really, really traditional Santoku, and there's some that aren't. And I would say this is a Santoku, but it has elements of a hybrid. Just because the handle feels kind of Western, the handle's a little heavier than some of the other Santokus I've seen. And I don't know, just kind of the shape. The blade isn't as wide, but I really like it. So let's try the Damascus steel, super steel chefs. Nice. Cuts just as well. It's a little bit heavier of a knife. If you want something where you want to bone a chicken or something like that, this is a great knife for that. And then we will try this is just a regular chef's knife. It's high carbon steel. And it's a lot more budget friendly. I think this knife is about $40, so nice. I can say that if you want to know sort of the difference between the Damascus and this one, I don't know if it's a little bit harder on the Rockwell scale, so you can get a little bit, sharper of an edge on it. So that's just my thoughts on this one. But this is a great knife anyway. They both are. I mean, look at how that cuts. There's look at that. I can take this knife here, and this is the chef's, and I can barely put any pressure on it. Look at that. I'm just barely putting any pressure at all, and it's just going right through. So I could just have it in my finger right there, barely press, and it just, this knife is nice and sharp. Let me get this gristle out here. And we'll go ahead and slice. So that was the regular chef. This is the Damascus. It just, I don't know, it just seems, this knife just seems slightly smoother than that one. Not tremendously, but a little bit. And here's the Santoku. I really like how this knife feels. I really like hybrid knives, because you sort of get the best of both worlds. So let's try to cut some cutlets here. Get all this stuff out of here that I don't really want to eat. Have a little bit of a vein here I want to get rid of. Okay, so let's do this. What I'm going to do is, let me get this off of here. These really aren't trimmed. So I'm basically going to butterfly. And what I'm going to do is, this is the Santoku. I'm just going to take it right here and look at that. It's no effort whatsoever. That right there, folks, is a beautiful knife and a beautiful cut. Woo! Look at that. So we're just going to make these into little cutlets. These are going to be going on our sliders. Let me try doing this with the Damascus chef. So I'm going to do a little trim action here. Once you buy these club pack chickens all the time, you sort of get used to all the spots you got to trim off stuff. Okay. Butterfly. Sweet. Nice. Just as good. Wow. So I give the Shan knives my thumbs up. I really, really like it. Get my gloves off here. So my pick out of all these three knives is the Santoku. I really like it. It's kind of a hybrid to me. It feels the best to me. And I could see me using this as an everyday knife. It's not super, super thin like a traditional Santoku. So I feel like I can use this on a lot of things, just generally day by day. My second choice is the Damascus Chef's. I think it's slightly sharper than the other one. It is a little bit more expensive, but this is my pick. But still, the Chef's knife is a great knife. You know, it's a nice price and it's nice and sharp, and I really like it too. So, you know, it would be great too if you're on a budget. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank Sanju for sending me these knives. They're awesome. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to take a look at them to the Amazon page. I think you'll really like them. If you like this video, please subscribe below and leave me a comment and a like. Visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook at Amy Learns to Cook.